right now. My hair is just wet with sweat and it is so freaking salty. I do have a hot rag and I have my Igloo cooler, mini cooler thingy that I had gotten from Dollar General, and I've been applying it to the back of my neck, just trying to do a cool down. I do have some warm water with a Crystal Light hydration pack. What do they call it? Oh, fortified with electrolytes. Let me tell you guys something. This made a difference this year. This made a freaking difference. Yeah, I'm suffering right now, but nothing like I was last year. So I made a decision to come in because this year is different than last year. There was a lot of people. So first of all, Saturday, people are usually out and about doing stuff, and there was hardly any people. So I don't know if they're trying to conserve on gas and maybe do stuff in the afternoon and into their evening as to where they were going out, taking care of, business stuff and, house business stuff, and then going out, in the night. That's not, that was not, like, there was no people. It was so quiet. So, I gotta think here. So I did move, um, the bears in the bag. That was the first one that went. And then I moved a money bags. And let me tell you something, people love those money bags. It was the makeup bag with the lottery stuff written all over it. And then it had the hand sanitizer and the mask, face mask, and it had a hand sanitizer, face mask. Trying to think, oh yeah, the utterly smooth hand cream lotion. People like that also. A lot of people asked me if I was going to be out tomorrow. Usually, I'm contemplating on not going out tomorrow because it was so freaking dead. But because tomorrow is Mother's Day, and maybe they're combining travel and being like, okay, being more prudent and conservative with the gas in their car. And like, okay, well, I'll go, we'll go to the post office on Monday. We'll drop off bills, drop off cards, and we will then go over to the mother's house for lunch or brunch, and, stay home Friday and Saturday, do something with the kids kind of a thing. So it was just like, let me tell you guys something. This is Saturday. This place is usually freaking jumping, and it was just so silent. So, I went out with about 40 concepts, and I moved, two, and I did reduce prices by $5. And for some reason, okay, so here, people are just like happy to get like a deal, but if they do multiples, they get deals. But like if you do if you can do $5, I would do it because they just move on it really quick. So I did do that. I wanted to state that I'm still on cool down. You can see like all of this is sweat. I'm just sweating. So I want to tell you guys, I did the electrolytes. I did all week long. I was drinking nothing but electrolyte water with the Crystal Light packets. It made a huge difference. Huge difference. Yeah, I'm hurting, but nothing like I was last year. So I use these little Crystal Light packets, just one, and I just put them in here, and all week long that was all I drank. I feel like it helped me a lot. So what happened was my heart started pumping, and because when you're in the heat and people want to see stuff and you're getting up and you're showing them stuff and you're doing that kind of a thing. And then I also had to battle the wind. The wind was just blowing everything around. Hi, Humphrey. So I had to battle the wind. That was hard. And so I was like, okay, well, let's go home and pack it up because I've been, I went out at 2 and okay, so I was out from 2 to 4, which is a afternoon kind of we're gonna, take care of afternoon stuff and then go out because usually people, they'll do anytime, all the time. But I think they're really starting to be smart on conserving their gas, on being prudent. Like doing like if they're gonna go out tonight, maybe they change it to tomorrow so they can go out with the husband, the wife, the kids, and the grandmother. Instead of doing two like separate things. So it was very slow. I did with 2 items. People love the money bags. I love people. I really do. That you get like just different responses from different people. One girl was like, "That is cool," and that was the money bags. And she really wanted to get some, but she was paying her bills. So let's see. Tomorrow's the 10th. So yeah, this is like the bills that are hitting for the middle of the month. But maybe graduation, because I heard people were just like, there was just a graduation. And, maybe they spent a lot of money on kids graduating, giving them money, cars, hopefully. Things like that, going out and that kind of a thing. The only other thing I could maybe think of is just maybe graduation affected it. One thing, just people were saying, "Are you going to be here tomorrow?" It was just tomorrow. Like I said, here they are, very last freaking minute. And so when, and I was telling you guys this week this is gonna suck. I'm in Arizona. We are forecasted for not just high heat, but we're forecasted for high UV. And that's kind of like putting a magnifying glass on the sun, or with the high UV rays. Oh my God, it sucked. So with that being said, it would be, what it would be equivalent to is if you're like in Michigan or you're in Minnesota, and they say it's going to be below 2 with a wind chill of -30. That's what it's like here. Right? So you got factors that are going to really make it intense, and that's just how it is here. So yeah, it could be 100, it could be 110, but when we have a UV chart that the numbers just don't go high enough. I mean, it just hits 10, and we really don't know how bad the UVs are because they need to upgrade. They need to add more numbers. So anyhow, it really intensifies it. So it would be equivalent to if you're in a colder area and they say it's minus, below 2, but you have a wind chill factor of -30. That's like it is here with the sun and UVs. So right now I just so what am I trying to say? So I did get a lot of sun. I was out there for 2.5 hours. It would be a reasonable time of day when people would have been going out, waking up, wanting to do their morning stuff, and then go out, do their bills, and lunch, or who knows. But anyways, so I was dealing with the wind, and the wind kept knocking every freaking thing over. So what happened was, it becomes like aerobics, believe it or not. It is equivalent to what do they call it, a high impact aerobics class. It can be. And so my heart just started pounding and pounding and pounding. I just started getting blacking out. And with every step that I was taking, it was really feeling like I was, really getting a workout. And so I sat down, did my slow breathing. And then I had this but I had water in it, and I had the ice machine right behind me, and I did not take ice out there because ice melts faster than you can do anything with it. Um, but if I needed it, it was right there. So the plan was I gotta go home now. I gotta go home because I'm getting the same responses from people, and they love the idea that they could get deals. But here it's just too early. It's either the day before or the day of, and that's it. Um, I wanted to ask you guys something that's, the ones of you that are in here, because I got broadsided with this lady who had one hell of a question. And she came up and she was like, I want to get something for my friend. She just got 7 kids from CPS because, they took them away from the other sister. And I want to get her something. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, like, what? And so I'm like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And so I had like the 2 bears in the bag, and then I had the 2 ducks in the bag. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, well, you could do, some ducks and you could do some bears, because it'd be like hers, theirs, ours kind of a thing. But it was just too crazy. It was just, she was in a hurry. It was extremely hot outside. What would you do in a situation like that? Because I was just broadsided by it. I was battling the wind, I was battling the damn sun, and everything can get knocked over. And what would you guys do in that situation? Because I got stuff here. And, I should have given her my card. I could have done a lot of things. But what I'm trying to say is you got to be prepared for anything, right? Like any kind of a situation like that. I think, like, for me, part of being basketing is we are functioning in the community some way, somehow. It just involves us in the community. And I think that we can meet those needs better than, like, say, these box stores. Or at least I'd like to try to. So, anybody have anything that, no habla español, Luna. No habla español poquito. Feliz Madre. Feliz Madre. Yeah, I remember what day it is. I can't remember. Feliz Madre Diaz. Yeah. Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you something about Arizona. We do have a lot of Mexicans, Hispanics, here because, we're a border state. And they do speak Spanish, right? But there's different. So, like, Spain Spanish is different than Mexican Spanish. Mexican Spanish do not understand Spain Spanish, right? So I was in junior high, and it was like 2/3 Mexican people, and so it was 2/3 Mexicans, and so what my teacher did was she said, because you can take electives. They had home ec and shop and swimming, and you could do you could learn to speak Spanish, right? And she switched up on them because they're like, oh, I'll just take Spanish. I could speak it fluently and I'll get an easy A. She taught Spain Spanish. They're like, that's not Spanish. You're not teaching us Spanish. She said, okay, we're gonna learn Spain Spanish. And I was laughing so I can't say I didn't ever get a first-rate education. You know what I'm saying? So I do know some Spain Spanish, and I was gonna say that nosotros and vosotros, those are 2 different things. That means we. Spain is vosotros, and Mexican Spanish is nosotros. So anyhow, we also could take typing, and I learned on the old Pica and Elites because that's what the school could afford. And it really prepared me for the world because I wanted to be like, I didn't want to work fast food. Like, even as as a teenager getting ready to graduate, believe me, so when we moved and I switched to better school districts, believe it or not, this place was so awesome. They had computers, so we could take computers and typing. And so, it really set me up for a lot of things. So, I had, all I can say is I had a really good, you know, first class education. You never know in what kind of situations you're in that they can afford to do that, right? Um, so, pardon me. Um, I'm debating on whether I should go out tomorrow or not because I don't have to. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that too. And that's another reason why I'm on here with you guys, because I want to do cool down. I don't want to cool down alone. I want to have people, I want to cool down with you guys, because I don't want to cool down alone. I want to make sure that I can get through this cool down, and I'm starting to cool down really good right now. Damn, man. Yeah, it's just, Valentine's Day was jumping. This day, a lot of people were interested. I didn't make as much stuff. I did, but I made smaller stuff, right? So many people are going to be buying in multiples. And with the wind and stuff, you kind of got to lay stuff down on the hood. So I had like the bags on the windshield. Everything else, was just like I had everything close together, and so, I'm gonna go ahead and take this ice pack and be putting it behind my knees. Go ahead and wipe this sweat off of me. I haven't sweated like this in freaking years, guys. So, how's everybody's day going? I did a little live earlier, or a short earlier, showing the setup. How everything was placed and stuff. I couldn't see the phone. So it's hard to, hard to talk and show you guys at the same time, but it was so freaking bright, I just could not see literally like what the phone was doing. So I just tried my best on that. Okay. How's I see 2 people in here. I just want to thank you for the thumbs up. Really appreciate it. I just really wanted to check in, and right now I'm in the house doing a cool down. Feels like, how you do a marathon and you see the runners at the end where they're just falling out and on the ground trying to catch their breath, and you know what I mean? That's how it felt. And man, with every step I was just really, giving it my all. Get in the car. You know what I'm saying? And then the damn corner of the freaking cardboard box got caught in the seatbelt. Dude, don't get me started. I was just like, shoving that stupid thing off, and what I had to do, and I knew I had to do it, was it lift up just a bit more and then shove. And so I took a deep breath, lifted it up, and freaking shoved and got it in. But my heart was just pounding at that point. And being handicapped, we don't get any exercise. So you know what I mean? Because I've got a unstable gait. I don't, when I walk, I don't know how to explain it, but I have, my balance is off when I walk. So, but hey, I'm feeling like I got just a bit of a different attitude right now, because I was really grateful for the people that came, stopped, met. move some items. I feel like if I do go out tomorrow, I'm gonna have to drop some stuff because I think some people, they want it bigger, but when they're buying for multiples of people, it's hard to do for them. So I might drop the butterflies and that shower gel down, maybe 35, 30. If they buy multiples, I will do that. If they're just buying a single, then I'll just do, stay at 40. But they were really interested in that in multiples. And one guy said, "Oh yeah, I got a mother, I got a grandmother, I got a sister, I got an aunt." So anybody else here? I'm having a hard time seeing the chat. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing your guys' comments at all. I really apologize. I just wanted to talk to you guys and do a little live and do a little check-in. I was really feeling burnout all this week and not, I was just so feeling burned out and, last night, I just somehow I had a different mindset and I got the cute little coffee carriers. I got those kilo wrapped up. People like those. But it was like they just didn't have, like any money just yet. They really wanted to check their budgets. They wanted to make sure their bills are paid. And, a lot of people asked if I was going to be out tomorrow. So, yeah, if you're on right now, I'm sorry, I can't see the chat. I don't know what's going on with it. Let's see here. All right, I see trolls in here. All right. It was like, all I could say is it was like, the sun was intense. It was like literally a freaking, like a magnifying glass. The UVs were so freaking gnarly. Oh my God, it was just so bad. So I still have like lots of Crystal Light packets, drink packets, because how I did the hydration. People love that too. They love the hydration concept. So I have lots of these. So I'm going to continue to hydrate. What I want to tell you guys is with these electrolytes and stuff, this helped me a lot because I started getting ready and started hydrating a week last week. And I'm going to continue to hydrate throughout this week. And it made a big difference. I don't know how to explain what kind of a difference it made, but it did. It made a difference. So, I want you guys to, what I think I'll do is I think I'll take a bunch of these and I'll be having them out as a freebie for people. Hydration packets, hand them out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and have a lot of goodwill, right? I'm gonna tell you guys right now, oh my God, my freaking arm, my forearm is Charlie horsing really bad right now. And it hurts. Yeah, so right now I'm working on cooling down with y'all. I mean, I'm cooling down so much better than I did last year. Yeah, last year it was so bad. I was in bed for 3 days. I was having heat stroke. Heat stroke is freaking deadly. And so, I don't know how to explain how much like really hydrating, not drinking water at the last minute. Right, or afterwards, you know what I mean? Like coffee. Like I'm a coffee drinker to the hilt. Um, last year I had coffee and like I think two freaking energy drinks. That was not a good idea. Yeah, and it really helped a lot because now my body has had that kind of, it's hydrated. The cells have what they need. They got those electrolytes. Your heart, um, I feel like, yeah, even though my heart was really going, I feel like it would have been way worse. It could have been so freaking worse. So hydration helped a lot. Let's see. We have anybody else? I know a lot of other basketers are struggling too. Let's see. I did Christmas. I did Valentine's Day, and now Mother's Day, and that doesn't count last year because last year I did Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Mother's Day, and it was my first year. And in between, you're still doing stuff. You're still preparing for baskets. You're like I was gluing hot gluing ribbon to and bling to paint sticks so I could do the bear in the hat boxes. I needed 50 of those. Um, this is a full-time mess. It's a full-time mess. And for some reason, people like choices. So if you go out and you only have a few things, people don't want to stop. You got to have a lot of things. So that sucks about it too. Um, but I know girls are battling right now with rain and the wind, right? And so God bless you guys. Right now, I'm battling the wind and the sun in a high UV index. So tonight, I really got to sit down and wonder, is it worth my life to go out tomorrow? I don't know about that. It's not. I know. I shouldn't have went out today. You know what I mean? It's insane, right? And there's always like next year. There's just, I don't know, things might be different next year. And, I don't know. We'll see. It's a lot of work to, unload the boxes, get them on the hood. For me, it is, anyways, because I'm just so handicapped and I've just been at it, nonstop. This is going on 2 years now. And it's really hard. I mean, it is just too hard on me. So I don't know if anybody has any feedback. I don't know if you're out there right now and you're listening to me and just kind of, because I'm live right now, best of everything to you. Oh my gosh, my freaking everything is just, I'm just like so soaked. My freaking dress is drenched. And, my hair is like soaked freaking wet with sweat. So, yeah, I haven't had that happen in a long time. We call it here, we have a swamp ass factor. What's a swamp ass factor today? Hotter than hell, you get heat rash on your butt crack. That fucking hurts. Oh my God. So we call it what's a swamp ass factor today. If you're battling that, they have something called Gold Bond. It works wonders. It's just, wonderful, wonderful stuff, because you're sweating, it's salty, it's rubbing, and, your clothes are freaking red. Oh my God. And you're just sweating and sweating. We call it swamp ass. And, what the factor for that is today, hotter than hell. And, go ahead and powder yourself before you go out. I'm so glad it's over. I do. I feel like it's over. I'm gonna look at some stuff tonight. What that lady really broke my heart. I just feel so heartbroken right now because I want to give her something too. I wish I would have given her my card. I just couldn't think. All I could think about was the next 10 minutes, the next 5 minutes. of the relentless fucking heat and this stuff blowing and doggone the wind, you know what I mean? And grabbing stuff and arranging stuff, and it just really, just kind of knocked me because I would love to do something wonderful for that situation and help that girl out, man. Because that's a huge thing. But what do you guys, I want to know what you guys do for, what I want to know is anybody had any kind of a situation like that? And what did you do? You know? Is there anybody else in here? You look so pretty. Well, thank you, Ashley. I really appreciate it. I'm a mess right now. My hair, like, I'm cooling down right now because I'm trying to cool down and get out of that red zone of going into heat stroke. My hair is just soaking wet with sweat. Oh my God, I know it. Oh, um, I really appreciate that. Thank you, sweetie. Welcome to the channel, by the way. Um, yeah, I mean, I just couldn't even think. I was like, I got, a bag with a couple bears. I've got, that with a couple ducks, I then it was like, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. I was just like, or you could just do the bears, the ducks. You were both laughing because we just didn't know what to do with that little situation. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'd love to give her the lipstick. You guys remember the lipstick that I did? The lipstick gift box with the bling and everything. I would just love to do something like that for her and give that to her. So she might be back tomorrow. A lot of people, and people always say they'll be back tomorrow, but something's going on right now where people they got a lot on their mind and they're in a hurry. They're a lot on their mind and they're in a hurry. And yeah, it was kind of like that, like Valentine's Day, but not like today. Hi, Lisa. How are you, girl? I came back in about an hour ago. I'm doing a cool down. My hair is drenched in freaking sweat. I was talking about what hydration, like I've been hydrating all week and I've been doing the Crystal Light drink packs. They've got electrolyte fortifications. So I've been hydrating all week and I was talking about what a huge difference it made. Yeah, I'm drenching in sweat. Yeah, the UV was very, very intense and everything. I think had I not done this, it would have been really bad. I would have had a bad heat stroke again. And, I feel like this did help me. And I was just discussing, like, how important this is. And this is something I want to do. I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say and suggest something unless I'm doing it myself, right? And so it just helped a lot. This was all I was drinking all week, getting hydrated. Hi, Humphrey. Getting hydrated. And, today I did go to the little water station and had water. The water was warm. And, came home and I was just so drenched in sweat. And, with the wind and the high UV rays, it was like doing a high impact aerobics class, right? And so my blood pressure was going up, I'm blacking out. And it was like, how the runners in the marathon, when they're running the marathons and at the end, they're all on the ground lying there and, trying to cool down and that kind of a thing. That's what it was like. Girl, I shoved the last box that I could get in the car and came right home. Grabbed the more of the, Crystal Light stuff, the cold pack, and I've just been putting it at the back of my neck and slowly cooling down, and this has helped a lot. And then debating whether I want to go back out tomorrow because a lot of people said, are you going to be here tomorrow? And they are really last minute, right? but today it was bad. It was just really bad with the heat, and then the wind and that kind of a thing. But this, you guys, some way, somehow, this helped. Last year, I was in bed for 3 days dealing with heat stroke. This, I'm up here talking to you guys, gradually cooling down more, and it's working. This is working. I was saying last year, it was the same situation, but I had coffee and 2 energy drinks. Not a good idea. And I call that hydration, okay? So, I was battling a lot. And then I was also battling burnout because I was telling you guys, this is my second year. This has been like nonstop rolling through, and that, just because I'm at my last cycle. You're always ordering stuff. You're shopping for stuff. There's it's a full-time job all year round. And I don't like it. It's not conducive for my condition. I'm handicapped, and I should not be doing this. And so, I'm going to be looking at, I got to pray, and I really got to pray about it, and I got to listen. You know what I mean? Because I know, that my God's will is what's best. And, I like to, kind of sidestep some things and think that I'm still in it, and I'm not. And look at me now. You know what I mean? I risked my freaking life for what? Let's just get rid of this stuff and let's just go see. You know what I mean? And here's Quincy, you guys. Hi, Quincy. Say hello. My cats notice a big difference. So Valentine's Day, after Valentine's Day, I just felt this huge relief that it was over. And I noticed a difference in my cats. They were happier. They weren't as stressed, and the reason why is because I was happier and wasn't in that stressful, because Valentine's Day was over. But people love the bears in the bag. It was a bouquet of bears in the bag with the shower gel. They love that. They love the money bags. So Petunia Pickle Bomb is on YouTube. She's also on Facebook. She does excellent templates. Check her out because that's who did the money bags templates, and she also did the pink makeup bags. So I just I want to shout out to her. Thank you so much, girl. People, they love this stuff. One girl's words verbatim was, "That is cool as." If I had to bleep out a word, that would be it. And she really liked it, and she wanted to come back. So, I just really want to take the day, and I want to keep hydrating, and, keep on cooling down. And, I'm so tired also because I've been stressed, and, I'm on this diet that can make things stressful. Just had a lot going on, you know what I mean? And when you got a lot going on, I gotta wake up for this, and I gotta, get up at this time to do that, and to meet the day, and then on top of it, do this. And my house is a mess. It's a maze. I have to create some kind of a freaking maze, because it's full of boxes with concepts that, I was getting ready to go out to the damn streets. And, so I got a lot to consider here. Quincy says hello. Don't you, Quincy? Don't you say hi? Say hello, buddy. Come here, baby. I don't want you getting hurt with this. Look at that. That's going down a lot better. Quincy, spend some time with my cat. But it was a motherfucker today. And I knew it, man. I was like, oh, it's gonna be hot as fuck. And oh my lord, I'm just glad that this part is over. So I want to sign off. I want to thank you guys, whoever is live. Thank you for being with me. I'm now feeling a lot better. I do feel like I am cooled off. I'm going to continue to hydrate. And, thank you all for your support. And to the other basketers, I look forward to seeing how you guys turned out also. All right, this is Shannon with Cinderella's Voice signing off. Happy Mother's Day, you guys.